Dear Hudson School community, once again, thank you for your understanding, support, and collaboration as we jointly navigate the intricacies of safely operating our schools, balancing remote learning at home, and definitely working together to ensure the safety of everyone in the Hudson community. Since my last message to you on October 9th, we've had an additional 6 positive cases in our schools, with a total number of 11 positive cases reported since our first case on October 2nd. The increase in the number of positive cases reported is consistent with the rise in positive cases in Hudson. I am happy to see the steady decline in new cases in Hudson since the significant spike during the first week in October. However, the pandemic is still here, and Massachusetts and many other states around the country are experiencing a significant rise in the new cases at this time. We must remain vigilant and consistently adhere to the mitigating practices of mask wearing, social distancing, and hand sanitizing. It is also important to adhere to isolation practices at home when a family member tests positive. I also ask families to limit children's social gatherings in the afternoons and weekends. Results from our contact tracing protocol suggest an increase in social gatherings outside school, which contributes to the number of students and staff we have to quarantine when a positive case is reported to us. The number of individuals placed in quarantine can also affect school operations. As you know, earlier this week, we made the decision to transition the Hudson High School from hybrid to remote learning for a 2-week period. We made this decision entirely because of the number of staff quarantined at Hudson High and not because of safety conditions or concerns. The 3 separate positive cases at Hudson High resulted in 14 staff members to be quarantined. As such, we did not have the ability to provide consistent coverage for all classes. It is unfortunate that we had to make such a drastic decision. Again, our main goal is to provide stability and a renewed sense of normalcy for our students while enduring the pandemic. Periodic transitions between hybrid and remote learning are a detriment to student learning, particularly those who need additional support to achieve academically. You may have heard on the news this week that the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention revised the definition for close contact. In essence, the CDC defines close contact as someone who was within 6 feet of an infected person for a cumulative total of 15 minutes or more over a 24-hour period, starting from 2 days before illness onset or for asymptomatic patients 2 days prior to test specimen collection until the time the patient is isolated. We have updated our contact tracing protocols to include this new definition, and we continue to follow the CDC's strict guidelines to ensure that a thorough process is in place in Hudson. When investigating potential close contacts, we consider many factors such as the proximity, the duration of exposure, and whether the infected person had symptoms at the time. We also check if the infected person was likely to generate respiratory aerosols through coughing, singing, or shouting. We also examine other environmental factors such as crowding, ventilation, and whether the exposure was indoors or outdoors, on a bus, or at social gatherings outside school. Each positive case identified in our schools posed unique circumstances that needed to be evaluated within the context of the individual case. We are consistent in our contact tracing practices to safeguard everyone's safety. We routinely monitor several COVID-19 indicators at the state, local, and district levels, and I present a summary of these indicators to the school committee every 2 weeks. One of the indicators that we analyze each week is the color-coded map the Department of Public Health releases every Thursday. This report also includes the average daily incident rate per 100,000 people for the last 14 days. Hudson has been in the red category now for 3 consecutive weeks as a result of the spike in positive cases registered in the community. One important factor to consider when reviewing this report is the trending direction of positive cases accumulated in a 14-day period in relation to the number of active cases reported by the town every week. In both instances, the number of positive cases are trending down, and we must continue to fight the spread of the virus by practicing the mitigating factors known to prevent the virus transmission. Another important indicator that I monitor daily is the potential of virus transmission inside of our schools. This is highly important, and to date, of all quarantined students and staff who reported back to us their test results and information about their health status, no one has reported significant symptoms or have tested positive for COVID-19. Those quarantined in early October have returned to school at this time. This information is extremely important because it shows the effectiveness of our protocols to keep everyone safe in our schools. We are doing everything in our power to provide the safest environment for our students and staff. I am, however, concerned about how the pandemic will evolve in the coming months. Aside from the arrival of the cold weather, which is likely to increase indoor activities, there are major holidays taking place in the next 60 days. With Halloween, Thanksgiving, and all December celebrations upon us, I ask all of you to take every safety precaution to ensure that your family members, friends, and loved ones are safe during holiday gatherings. Please consider everyone's safety, including our children, when planning a family or social gathering. Responsibly, we can enjoy the holidays and keep everyone safe. Your care, thoughtful planning, and safe actions will help us keep operating our schools under the hybrid model and allowing our students to attend our schools in person, the place where they learn best. Please be relentless in monitoring social distancing, mask wearing, and frequent hand sanitizing. We can do this. We owe it to our students. We owe it to our community. Thank you for listening, and be safe.